allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the roll call, every member is present, absent is none. Others present is, Harry Fink and his wife Judy. Right, nobody else present?
I'll be the other present too, since she's the secretary.
Yeah, now Dave is the other guest.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll put David down. David down as finance. And, Anna, secretary. All right. Did everybody take a chance to read the minutes from last attendance?
Yes.
Anybody have questions on it? I have a question on the Demmelhart farm, the right of way. Are they gonna proceed with that? Or are they gonna let it go?
Okay, so what I know. So,
Anna,
the
do
one-
you have a comment on that? You don't know?
No, I'm not working on that one. Dave is finishing that.
wait, is it the Dagenham one?
There you go, there you go.
Yeah, I'll fill you all in on that when we get to the old business with the update.
Yeah, he'll fill, yeah,
Well, I
We
think
just
it's
have
a
to
good
approve.
question I have to go here.
we just have to. approve.
Anybody else have a question on the minutes? Daniel? Nope.
I make a,
Bobby?
no, I'm good with it. I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
I second the motion to accept the minutes.
Mr. First, your first name?
Leonard.
What is it?
Leonard.
Leonard. Public comment? Have any comments at this time? We'll get to the appraisals in a few minutes. All right? All right, David, you could spot off on your funding.
Well, for the funding again, we still have estimated encumbered funds for the 5 farms that we originally did. That's because we don't know the exact amount at the end yet till we get the Dagenhart one finished. The estimated number for the Strauss farm, again, even though we got a lot of the stuff already in there, we still, have to wait till we go to settlement, till we have all the final numbers. So this is basically then what's remaining here is, what we have in funded.
On the Strauss farm, did they get the mess squared away with the title search?
We're still working on it.
Still working on it.
Yep. I contacted them today for an update, the title
Pardon?
company. I contacted their title company today for an update. So I'm waiting to hear back from them.
All right.
So you're waiting for their original tile company?
Their
When they
original
purchased the
deed,
farm.
when they purchased the property has a
Name was
typo.
spelled wrong.
Yeah, a name is spelled wrong. It's missing one letter. So that's really.
See?
Yeah, well.
Okay, well,
Okay, the old business, the Steel Farm was paid, Miller Graver Farm was paid, Comfort was paid. We're waiting on, some kind of answer on the Dinglehart and Eckhart Farm update, so.
alright, so we've had settlement on June 23rd for the Eckert Farm, August 11th for the Miller and Graver Farm, September 10th for the Comfort Farm, and 30th for the Steel Farm. So all 4 of those are done. What happened with the Dagenhart Farm was when after I submitted everything along with the survey, the state came back to me and said that the non-preserved land was being landlocked. So they first told me I needed to get access to the back there. So we created a we recorded an easement to go back to eliminate one of the landlocked. When they looked at it again, then he told me, well, it was landlocked in the one corner. If you guys all saw the map here, they were worried about the parcel that was up in here because it was two track. Don't ask me why they said that I had to have access to the second track. They said if it gets conveyed that they can sell it, each track separately. My original proposal was to just, since they have a 50-foot easement already in there, to be able to come off that easement into the parcel. They said that doesn't work because you still can't get to that track number 2. So then what they proposed and what they told me they would accept is if we took out a portion of a strip out along the property line, so that there was, there would no preserve, that,
No
That-
unpreserved lots left.
yeah. So basically, now, for me, don't ask me why or how they came to this conclusion, but not having that non-preserved lot right there, access out to Roundhead Drives apparently satisfies all their landlocked stuff. And they told me that you couldn't put an easement across preserved land, even though there was an existing easement already there. So I talked with Mr. Degenhardt, we went back and forth, and we came up with a solution for this. Went back to the surveyor, he submitted a change order to us to do this. That will be approved at a county commissioners meeting. Just to be on the safe side, I would prefer that you guys also make a motion to approve the change order. The change order to amend the
Resurvey.
survey would be a cost of
$3,700.
$2,700. Okay.
Something that they should have did in the beginning, but we learned from our mistakes. I make a motion, we approve the change order for the resurvey of the Degenhart farm.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And one last thing with that is, John and Janet asked that instead of doing installments, they ask if they can go to lump sum. I don't see any problems with that, unless you guys on the board have any problem with it. I checked with the state, they don't have a problem with it, so.
Do we need a motion on that? As a board? Yes or no?
We could just do one just to be on the safe side.
All right, let's have a motion to,
Okay, I'll
pay
make,
them with lump sum.
I'll make a motion to pay the Degenharts in lump sum instead of the three separate payments.
I just did that, Bob.
Okay, I'll second it then.
Anything else you wanna bring up, David, there?
No, that's it for that then.
That's it for that, and you're gonna work on the Strocker signing?
Yeah, so as long as we get that fixed by around November 2nd, they'll be able to get approved at the state board meeting or
Good.
go to the state board meeting.
Good,
So
good.
fingers crossed it gets fixed by then.
All right, pending acceptance or offers for the title search and surveys.
Okay, before we move,
Before we go any further on that, I wanna pass this out. Okay, that, Bobby? Here's one for you. Andy, you want a copy of what I'm doing here? Or
Yeah.
should I just you do it? Give one to Hannah.
this is out of our bylaws, and this was gonna be my question.
Read it,
I-
and then we'll discuss it.
Okay, I read it already.
Huh?
I read it already. I know what it says.
Okay. You want to discuss the the shortfalls of this
Yes, I
this
do.
program here, I looked at the appraisals on all of them, from Mr. Fink's, the Ouse Farm, and the Kunfer Farm. Every one of them, they use comparables outside of the county, which is illegal. That's not allowed. They didn't come to the board for approval to do it, so all these comparables don't mean a lick of crap, as far as I'm concerned. Can you read it?
Yeah, I just read
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
They must come to us for approval if they're gonna use, outside areas for the comparables. So I don't know how we're gonna correct the mess here, but I suggest that Anna asks for our money back. You already paid them? I'm gonna ask her to ask them to send the money back because they did something that wasn't legal with the state guidelines.
well, the problem I have with it is nowhere in in the guidelines does it say that we're using comparable sales, estimating the farmland value for farmland that has already been preserved. And that's the problem I have with it. You know, we're looking at comparable farm sales and not necessarily preserved farms, and that's what he used in all four of these comparables.
Yeah.
And I don't,
He didn't have permission from the board to even do that.
no, I understand that, right? Now, the last ones we had, with the one I rejected in the Straucus farm, he used both approaches, right? If you remember them, right? I didn't look at them completely, cause there's just not enough hours in the day for me, right? But I know he looked at both things. He looked at farmland values at sales without being preserved, and then farmland being preserved, right? And of course, you have to go outside the county to find farmland that's been preserved. And like I say, I don't know, how does the state board feel about this? That's my question, you know?
But we're going by the bylaws that the state approved. For us to do anything different, we'd have to have the bylaws changed, which would take time, and the state would have to approve, which takes months. We went through that how many times already? I'm looking for some kind of guidance here, David. I'm saying we reject all of them. But, well, don't laugh.
No, I'm just saying you're asking for guidance. I can't, I mean, I
Okay,
just
so
can't say anything. That's.
I think-
Listen,
From our secretary and you and the total board here.
I think the way to proceed with this is to sit on these and ask the state board for guidance as to how they are, I mean, have they seen anything like this, right? Like I say, I know the last, with Straucus and mine, he used both approaches and he took the farmland value. He didn't take this preserved value into consideration, right? I think we need guidance from the state board to say,
Board's gonna tell you, you already have our approval of the minutes. And act on what's written in the book. Why are we asking them for something that's already written and they're telling us? If these people didn't do the comparables, they were illegal because they didn't get permission from the board. Period. We're wasting the applicant's time here, in my estimation.
When this goes out for bid, don't they get a list of,
they're told all that, but I can't remember one appraisal that we've done since I've been here where they didn't have to use out of county comparables. Every single farm, even when we used Andreas, they had to use out of county comparables.
Well, you have preserved farms here in the county. How many?
yeah, but
Tons.
They weren't.
Go ahead.
do we have what, 18 or 19? Maybe we're over 20. We didn't hit 25 yet. But this guy's using comparables of preserved farmland sales. And that's not what the intent was. The intent was to use comparables of farmland value for farmland.
Right.
Not comparable sales of preserved farms.
Right,
And this is the issue that needs to be straightened out.
right.
Yes,
Well-
yes, they should have come to us before. I mean, at least you should have had a phone call to these guys and say,
Had no
okay,
phone call.
all right, okay. So you had no phone call, so they did not follow with the approval of the county board, right? So that being said, I really think we need guidance from the state to say we can use comparables of preserved farmland, because that's where, you know, I mean, if we look at,
Within the county though.
but there's, okay, so if they say we have to use comparables of preserved farmland, there's not enough, there's one in the county that he could use that wasn't outside, if you read his narrative, that he used comparable sales of preserved farmland that was not between family members, which is what they have to do.
Right.
But my thing is, they're using comparables of preserved farms, not comparables of regular farmland that has no
Right.
deed restrictions on.
Right.
All right, that's good explanation. How do we correct this, Anna? I'm saying they should.
I'm
treat
gonna
it-
step in, the best thing to probably do is go back to the appraiser and ask him to do it in that position. That it wasn't an acceptable appraisal, the board did not take any action on it, you would just table them for right now.
But how do
I-
we go
I-
back?
okay,
What time are you gonna keep giving them? Cause now, the people that submit it, these, figures should have went in on the fall. Skateboard?
No,
Okay,
because,
no, they don't put negative?
no, because right now, we're at, do we accept the appraisals? If we do, we're going to a letter of acceptance to the.
To the people,
To the,
right,
to the people that submitted their application.
right.
And then if they submit if they say, yes, they're gonna accept the proposal, then we're going to survey. Because we can't submit this to the state board until we have the survey and their acceptance and everything else.
Right.
Right? Right now, we need to find out why he didn't use two things. Why he's using sales of, where he's getting the guidance to use sales of, comparable sales of preserved farmland versus comparable sales of unpreserved farmland.
Unpreserved, right.
That's the thing that needs to be ironed out.
Yeah. And, yeah, we'll go through that, and then we'll talk with the state, and then too, if he
Yeah,
isn't, if he's not following that, we'll go back to the appraiser and tell him that he has to redo the,
The comparables on the farm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At his expense.
yes, because
Yeah.
he didn't, it's
Yeah.
not completed as was.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
one
Good.
question I have, right? What was the difference, we're gonna solicit bids. You're gonna solicit bids and we gave you the go-ahead to go with the lowest bid.
Mhm.
What was the appraisal from Andres versus? everyone?
$1,000 more.
Each.
Say with 3,000.
Yeah.
3,000 apiece as opposed to 2,000 apiece. That's all it was.
Yeah, so I can reach out to
So
the
if we have
appraiser about
trouble-
this.
Pardon?
I can reach out to the appraiser about this tomorrow
All right.
and see what the state says.
Yes, I wanna see what the state said.
Right.
Important.
Get everything corrected in these. Can you guys do the motion to approve the out-of-county comparables? Because that's what we were missing. I didn't realize that had to be approved by you guys. It's always done in the past. I gave him a letter that said that was okay.
Oh.
Because it's always done in the past. I did that because I didn't know that it had to be approved
Well,
by you guys. So can you guys
That's
mo-
fine. Everybody
approve
makes
that
mistakes,
so that
so.
we can just fix this before our next meeting?
But then we,
The,
at this
the
point, we
problem-
can't even offer appraisal rate to see if, Mr. Fink would reject.
Yeah, if you guys don't wanna do that, that's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cause these are,
Cause you can't really
would
give them
imagine the
a
numbers
true
will
figure.
change.
I would imagine the numbers will go up,
Yeah.
cause these are,
Way up, cause these are low.
Yes.
In my estimation, it's the lowest ones we ever had.
Looking back, it was,
Yeah.
um,
So you wanna wait until she gets an answer before we make a motion to give it?
the motion
Yeah.
would be to allow for him to use the out of county comparables. So that when he goes to correct this with non-preserved farms, he can look at outside of the county.
Right.
And for the outside of the county comparables for preserved
You wanna
farms.
do that? Because there are a bunch of comparables. I mean, we have 25 farms we already,
But they're all different
Yeah, right,
sizes.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what, so if we're gonna allow, so I will make the motion to allow the appraiser to use out-of-county farms in the comparison, provided they are not preserved farms.
Well, I think for the ones that are preserved, because if he does both, you would want him to be able to do both. The out of county preserved ones and the in county preserved ones, right?
Okay,
yeah.
No, wait a minute.
because
No, no.
By Tanner alone, you have the hospital at $2 million. You have the property they bought across the street. Andrews Appraisals, plumbing and heating. They just bought the piece there by Runny Salt, which was high. And the piece up on top of the hill, the Eckert Farm, which was high. You know, I'm positive they could have enough right in the county within 2 miles. So. You wanna waste our time? I mean, I'm willing to learn from the state too.
I
Because
wanna
this
know,
is the best.
I wanna know from the state why we are using
Outside,
pre- not so much outside, preserved farm sales in the comparison and not unpreserved farms. And nowhere here does it say they're using preserved farms as the comparison, right? And all of the ones that he used were preserved farms, right?
Tanner, what's your,
I agree with that.
you're agreeing with it?
Yep.
Daniel?
Agree.
Okay, Anna, then you proceed on that kind of
Mhm.
dictation that he just mentioned
Yeah.
and give us an answer before we go ahead with giving the people a monetary figure, all right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then if he is to fix it,
Pardon?
so then when the appraiser goes to fix things, you want him to only use things inside of the county? Or can he get the letter that
That's-
says,
He can come back and say, I can't use only ones in the county. 'Cause
Right.
We have that every single time we do an appraisal.
Yeah, but my thing is, he's only looking at preserved farms.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nowhere in the
Would you
nowhere in the
think-
guidelines does it say
yeah,
that we're using preserved farms only
yeah, you,
as the comparison, right?
Mhm.
On the farmland value.
so if he uses both, can the preserved ones be out of the county? Is
See,
that-
and that's the thing, there's not,
Say no,
It-
because you have enough.
What's hard about it is there has not been farms that were in preservation. Not many of them have sold in the county within the
That-
last.
I see your point, okay.
See, and that's what,
I see
that's
your
what he's saying about using them outside the county, right? Uh. If he's gonna use Monroe and Northampton, then he better use something in Schuylkill. Because
You
they're,
don't want
they're,
Schuylkill.
why, they're gonna
Schuylkill
be
has a
lower.
flat- Schuylkill has $1,000 period
Yes, I
by the,
understand that.
by the commissioner.
I understand that, but their farmland, their resale value is gonna be lower than the ones they're using for Northampton and Monroe.
Right.
Correct. So. You have a mess on your hands.
I-
Handle it and get back.
I,
to
I wanna,
solving
I,
that.
I wanna know what the state says about him using only comparables from preserved farms, because nowhere in our bylaws does it
It
say,
doesn't say, yeah,
it
you're
doesn't
right.
say.
And that's why all of this is so
Yes,
low.
yes, this is,
That's why it's messed up and that's so low. You're right, you're 100% correct. And I'm saying the applicant should have the highest and best use.
Right.
Financial,
mhm.
that's my point. So, in other words, we can't give them a monetary figure or what they wanna do or not until you
Yeah.
straighten it out.
We'll skip over that.
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, we'll table these for now.
Yeah.
All right, so I make a motion that we table all three farms with the appraisals we have before us. until we get the language straightened out.
Second motion.
All agree?
Bobby,
Aye.
Bobby and, wait, Bobby and Dan, wait. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So as soon as you have it straightened out and contact us and they're messed up, it's at their expense.
Yep, I'll let them know that.
Yes. And if they don't wanna do that, then at that point, we should, contact, Andrews
Mhm.
and take them. And I'm sure, I was sure they didn't, I was sure they said at the, maybe I'm wrong, that they do all three. If they got all three,
Well,
they
I know-
$2,000.
No,
No.
that
No,
wasn't the deal.
It
with
was
this
$2,000 a piece versus $3,000 a
Right.
piece. So we're looking at 6,000 versus 9,000.
I think the original
Oh.
price was like 35, and then they took 500 off if you did all three.
Yeah, that, I
So-
think.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Something
still
like that.
more. It was
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
more than the
Yeah,
other
it
one.
was a little bit more. But if these people don't wanna correct their mess,
Yeah,
then
then we'll look into
we'll
that.
look at that,
Mhm.
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Okay.
So everybody's in agreement on that. So that takes the house farm. We can't give you a figure tonight. I hate to run you up here like that, but I'm looking out for the farmer.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for the farmers.
We'll be back.
Yep.
Okay,
You didn't waste that much gas, right?
well, that wipes out 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
Okay. All right, the new business, Fritzinger Farmhouse Edition. All right. I looked that up and, Savannah, I don't know if she wants to read it or not. You, and Danny. Now, I got about a week and a half ago, I think it was, that you gave me a text from the Fritzingers. They wanted to put a 14 by 20-foot addition on the existing farmhouse for their grandson. Am I correct in that, statement?
Yeah, let me get my wife so she could be here. We're on babysitter duty tonight and she's.
Well, that's
No problem.
I'm sure she wants to hear what you have.
Yep.
No. Maybe she wants to hear it.
We'll just go ahead. She.
You
What's-
want the addition at all, how it's not gonna go beyond your fence line, that kind of stuff?
So there's two houses on the farm. There's the farmhouse, which was built in 1856, and there's another house next to it. Both are houses. They have septic systems. I mean, they are full houses. Bathrooms were all there when we moved in. What I wanna do is, my stepdaughter lives in a small house, which is just on the other side of our house. I wanna put an addition on the back of that. It's a 2-story addition, 14 by 22. It's as wide as the house is. Plans are being drawn up right now. Well, I just met Doug Raybold a little bit ago, but, I don't have plans to present to you because I'm not gonna pay a few $1,000s till I get your approval to do it. I'm just not gonna do that. But if you would like me to show them to you later, by all means, I have no problem doing that. It's gonna be connected to the house. It's just an addition off the house, so it's renovation of a current house. I'm not building another house. I've talked to the state about it, and they just, at their direction, they just said to let you know that I'm not requesting to use my one-time exemption to build a new house.
Right.
As it says in my easement, I'm just renovating a current existing house. That's
Right.
all I wanna do. It's 2 stories, 1 bedroom, and 1 storage area below that, a playroom for his toys.
Okay.
So
Why-
there's only 1 bedroom in the house right now where his mother lives. he stays with us in our house. She wants to have him stay with her in
Right.
her house. So we need more room.
Question. Any zoning issues?
I haven't even gone there yet because last time I was here, I was told by East Penn Township that that I need to get this done first.
Okay, so real quick question. This is in the back of the house, I assume?
Yes.
So how far to your rear property line?
All far.
No,
Correct, yeah, it's
plus 100 feet?
more,
Okay,
plus a
all right.
thousand.
So
Right.
I make a motion that we do the.
Now, let's,
Yes.
wait, let's discuss this before you go and make motions. Let's discuss this amongst the board here. You can all read the existing building or structures. Read the second page, Bobby. A renovation or modification of an existing residential structure or an addition to an existing residential structure is permitted if it would not increase the curtilage of the residential structure. Now, the residential structures at the time of his signing or the prior signing is what you have to go by for the curtilage. It cannot be increased. It cannot be increased because it'd be an additional unit scoring an addition, and that would create a second dwelling use.
I would argue that curtilage argument.
Well, you
because the
can
the
argue
curtilage
it
is
all you
not the
want.
square Footage of a building, and I know that because I'm a police officer, and I know what the curtilage is in a search warrant, and that is all the area around that building. It's not just not just the square footage of
Right.
that
It
building.
includes
So
the
your
structure.
terms in that are not right,
Well,
that you're claiming.
well, to put an addition unit on there scores an addition, and that creates a second dwelling use,
This,
which
I
is
just
a
want,
zoning issue.
I just want to ask one question.
What?
This is going to take up room in your mowed yard area. This isn't going in the field. This is, okay, this is going in the mowed yard area. This is not taking, you couldn't farm where you're putting this.
Not a chance. It's on a hill,
But
you know.
the thing you wanna
going
read
down
into
back
this
behind the house
is
there.
he's expanding the original structure that they signed when they put it in the program. That's where the problem comes in. In order for us to give them permission to do what you wanna do,
And I would.
we have to approach
The
the state.
terminology said the square footage, right, but not the curtilage. The curtilage is the home, the yard, trees
Exactly,
around
what
it,
I-
that's
I-
curtilage.
That's what I
Right.
just said to you.
That's
Right.
curtilage. Now, curtilage is not square footage. It's not square footage. It's not the perimeter of the house.
But it says you cannot expand it. The book says that.
Meaning you
And
would put.
You can't-
what
At
I'm
this
saying
point,
is,
what
if
you're-
you
what you're
wanna argue
planning-
your point,
push the
you argue it
curtilage,
with
meaning
your
you
lawyer
move
with
the yard go
this.
into the fields.
Right.
I think that's what they're claiming on that. Meaning push the curtilage, meaning I would then push that yard out into the fields that I farm. That's what you're referring to.
Right. But that's,
And that's
That's-
not the plan.
no, that's my interpretation.
Exactly.
That's what it means.
That it wouldn't take up 50 feet of a field.
No.
It's going in a,
It's gonna
Yes.
stay in where his yard already is. Where
Right.
He already doesn't,
right.
where he already doesn't farm. So I think it fits within the bylaws.
So this truly has nothing to do with the second building that he's proposing.
It's not,
Has nothing to do with that. That is allowable if his son was farming with him and his wife. And he was on the tax rolls, he could prove he's
Well,
part.
that's the
he- no,
point.
wait,
No, it is.
He, I'm saying, if he could prove that he was partnership in the farming operation,
It's-
he'd be allowed
there's
to
al-
put an additional home on there. But
Right.
But this ain't coming down to that.
There's-
This is expanding the original structure when they signed the papers, they were buying it. That was set and dry, right then and there.
what are you?
Now,
I don't
And-
know the dictionary definition of curtilage, so that's what we should get squared away.
Yeah, we can.
curtilage means the structure itself, fences, yards, and the total acreage.
Well, now if it says fences and yards, now that's,
Right.
It does.
if it says structure,
It does say the structure right in front of you.
it says structure, but it also adds that magic word there that I don't know what it means, so.
the yard.
It's sort of conflicting, I
You-
agree with you. It's
The area around
the way
a
we look
house
at it-
forming one
Yeah.
enclosure with it.
The zoning
Roads
officer
within
couldn't-
the curtilage of the development site. Show more.
Could you repeat that, please? I didn't hear you.
Area of land around the house, area of land around a house and forming one enclosure with it.
The
So it's
area.
The outside perimeter of the yard.
Right,
That's your curtilage.
right.
So is that what you wanna go with?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
It's-
I,
it's
you know
within
what?
the curtilage.
it's within his yard and
Yeah,
everything,
the
yeah.
addition will be within the curtilage.
And
so
what's
it's
your
allowed.
zoning officer saying?
Curtilage is the land and any structures on it that are immediately surrounding a home and considered a private extension of the home itself, receiving similar legal protections as a home under the Fourth Amendment. Police officer language. To determine if the area is curtilage, courts use a four-factor test considering is the proximity of the house, whether it is enclosed by a fence or wall, the use of an area for domestic activities, and the steps the residence has taken to protect it from public view.
There you go.
I make a motion that we grant Mr. Fritzinger's request.
Wait a minute, Bob, stop jumping ahead of everything here.
Well-
Mr. Fritzinger, what is the zoning officer saying to you over there in, what's that, East Penn, right? Well, what's his
I have to
observation?
draw the plans up first. They got,
Right.
I can't, you told me last time I was here, I can't do that till I get approval from the board.
Right, that's,
I haven't seen anywhere in any zoning laws where that
job,
is
good job.
stated, but you told me that last time I was here, so you know that we're not at that step yet.
right.
Yeah, but you read everything here.
Now, is there,
Is- is-
is there something that you need to recluse yourself from this or not? I mean.
I'm not gonna recluse myself. I'm reading what we have in the bylaws.
Yeah, but
Period.
like I said, it's not. big-
Nothing against you or your wife or anybody else, but what I'm saying is, how is the zoning officer gonna look at this, and if he comes back and reads? the
As long
paperwork-
as it's approved by our
We
board,
give us- If
As long
we
as it's
give him
approved,
permission,
okay?
that
right,
he has setbacks that he meets, that
And
he
it's
don't
all
have to
good to
go
go.
for variance. He,
he can,
and it's the same way if somebody wants to put up a cow barn or
That's
a
different.
grain bin
That's
or,
That's
or,
different.
or somebody's adding an addition onto their house. He adding an addition onto the house so they can keep a family there on the farm. He's only 2 years old. I hope he stays on the farm,
Oh, I do
right?
too, but
right.
you know, and
Agreed.
we
If
can't,
we're gonna- if
we
we're
can't
gonna-
hold that against him.
if we're gonna look at it, and the board needs to give approval for him to expand to 14 by 20. All right, that's what you told me it was, 14 by 20, right?
22. Yeah, 14 by 22, it's on the.
Well, then if we take, with the observation you guys have, we give him permission to go ahead on a motion, let him go ahead and do what he's presenting, and you contact your zoning officer. If he goes along with it, then the ball's in your court. Otherwise, we're gonna make the motion. I ask for a motion to let him expand to 14 by 20.
I make a motion that we allow Mr. Fritzinger to expand his living quarters on his second home so that he can present it to the zoning officer and get his building permit.
I second that motion.
Second? Is that good enough for you there?
All agree?
I'll agree.
I'm reading the book, and
Yeah.
to me, it reads two different ways. It's confusing.
It's interpretation.
Yeah, the interpretation.
Every law is open to interpretation.
Right.
And I know about curtilage, so.
You know, well, the board's gonna give you
I know.
approval. The rest is up to you.
That's right.
How's that?
Well, we'll see what we deal with East Bend next.
Right.
Anna, please
Well,
generate a
it'll be
letter for him.
painless.
Yeah, get
Get it
him a
from-
letter.
You have it, you have his email?
Yeah, I have Sabrina's email. All in favor?
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
I will get you guys a letter.
Thank you.
correspondence. Anna?
Okay, so the only like little thing that I have is that in doing, I don't know, stuff with farms, I have found another deed that was transferred ownership, like another farm that transferred ownership. The deed of easement was not attached to the new deed. It was done wrong. That's like the third one in the last 6 months I found. And that comes from our lack of communication with the farmers, which to me means that we should move inspections from being biannually to annually. I discovered this within the last 10 days, and in order to change bylaws, I need to give you guys 15 days notice. So our next meeting, I'll call you guys in for next month to change the bylaws to ask if we can inspect farms annually instead of biannually, so that we can just communicate with the farm owners better and know if they're gonna sell their farm better, so that we can make
Right.
sure they do it properly.
All right.
And while,
That'd be part of recording of the deed. Shouldn't they get notified? Shouldn't that get passed on to the new deed?
Maybe I'll talk to them about it too,
So-
because you would think so.
We don't
When-
know
when-
who gets
when the-
sold
go ahead.
what.
okay, so
When they're going to do that, we red flagged everything in the courthouse.
Yeah.
We red flagged, but nobody's paying attention to it?
Apparently not.
okay, so while we're on the subject of inspections and deed transfers and everything, please pass the word on that we have a very uncooperative woman in our tax assessor's office, right? If you know someone that is selling their farm or anybody that has anything enrolled in Clean and Green, the law does state that you need to notify the tax assessment office 30 days before the deed transfer. Because if they're want to be honorary, they can actually drop to the new owner and be a farmer, whatever. They can actually drop you out of the program for a year if they don't follow the proper procedures. Because I know I have a couple of acquaintances
Right.
that, and we actually held up a recording of a deed between a father and a son because the son called up the girl and said, hey, I want to make sure the 319 is transferred, and and she gave him the third degree. Instead of helping the landowners, this lady, so I was on the phone that afternoon to the commissioners, right? And I was hoping to see Mr. Franco here tonight to remind him that this lady needed an attitude adjustment because she has very poor customer service. But if you know people that are transferring enrolled ground in the Clean and Green to do their due diligence. And I said to Mike, I says, most people in the Clean and Green went into this 30 years ago and they forget them little things. So please be aware, pass the word on. Because this lady's kind of honorary. Get her name again, but
I have been working with her to try to get her to help her out with a better way for her to see when properties are transferred and when.
well,
things are in place.
she needs to help the people
Yeah.
instead of and she's threatening them with $100 fines if they don't, and nowhere in the law, and I've read it a half a dozen times.
But isn't the title search company picking up on that?
Well,
That we red flagged it?
Well, I don't know about our program should be. I mean, there's supposed to be a red tag
Yes.
somewhere, and you know what, I'm gonna contact, what's my cousin? She recorder of deeds or is she the
Donna?
register wills?
Donna,
Donna Temple.
yeah, Donna.
Yeah.
I never saw any kind of like red flag. Matter of fact, one thing that we caught, and we just saw it today, is she goes, I'm looking for the deed, Dave. I can't find it. I was like, well, let's go down to the recorder of deeds office. And we put the parcel number in, and it didn't cut, the deed didn't come up. When I said, okay, let me try something else, and I put the last name in, and then I was able to find it, what they were doing was they were putting the parcel number, and then they were putting ESTA, almost like easement on it. So when you did a parcel search, it wouldn't pop up. But if you did it by the name, it would. A lot of what happens is just people sell the property, and I'll admit one thing, I wasn't trained very well from the state on how to handle these. I thought all you needed to do was just reference that deed in your deed of easement.
Right.
No, they want even more than that. They want, you have to attach the actual deed of easement. You can reference it, but then you have to attach it as like an attachment A. We just had training on that, what, about a year ago about it? Yeah,
Probably
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, less than a year. We finally got training on how to do the change of ownership. So that's why I did ask Talana, we're gonna go through all the ones that did change ownership, find out whose isn't correct, and we're gonna get them.
Mhm.
Let them know how to get it
Cause
corrected and,
Then it's on the farmer, the Fritzingers are going through it too, then it's on them to go to their title company or solicitor and get this fixed.
Right.
yeah.
When,
And so I spoke to her today from the title company, and
Mhm.
thank God they had all the records still. And I told her that this is your mistake, and she said, I talked to her at probably 10 to 5, and she said, I'll e-file it tomorrow and there'll be no charge. So just so you know, for the future, if you come across it and there's a problem, if they get a hold of the company that did their title search, which in my case was Northeast PA Title Settlement, she said she would fix it and she would cover the charge. She said tomorrow something will be e-filed. It will be, there's gonna be, affidavit filed, and it's gonna be Exhibit A, just like the email that you sent. And, she said, hopefully that all goes through. If not, we might have to come in and sign it. but
yeah,
it'll
I know
go
the
to the-
the
it'll
other
be
one
in the-
was working on, they tried to do an affidavit with Strauss, and that didn't get approved by the county, so you guys might end up needing to come in.
Okay, well, if we do, we do, but she
Yeah.
said that's what
She
she'll
can try,
try and work out.
Great.
Go from there.
that's good.
Now, when you get to talk to your zoning officer over there and you get his opinion and he lists it as a second dwelling use, would you call me and let me know personally how he's handling this? In case we have a mess like this again?
Yeah, I don't know
I mean, would you do that?
how he's gonna classify, what do you mean as a second dwelling use?
Well, if you go by the curtilage, the way I was reading it, and you put a second story on there, it's a second dwelling use. You know, when
Well,
I
there
was a
was
zoning officer, that's the way they look at it. So that would negate what you were trying to accomplish, but I see,
From what I've
I
talked
see
to-
what you're saying, and I agree, the
from
board
what I've
agrees.
talked to, there's not, as long as you're, I mean, there should be no.
It's
no
kinda
problem. I'm not
wishy-washy.
Changing any plumbing, not changing anything to the septic.
I understand
It's
that.
just- It's just.
I wanna see how he's gonna interpret it as a second dwelling use. That's what I'm asking. I'm nothing against what you're trying to do here, but the way it reads in the book is so wishy-washy. You could take it either way. So, but let me know what he says for you, okay? But we already gave you permission to go ahead. We already gave you, that's just for my self-satisfaction, how he's gonna read it.
So that was all the
Who is your
correspondence
zoning officer?
that I had.
Oh, I don't think-
Okay, thank you.
It depends, you could pick one or two.
Huh?
What do you mean, you pick
Pick
one?
one or two, it's Barry Izet's probably,
Barry Isaac?
Izet, yeah.
Yeah, wow. He's usually pretty straightforward.
All depends who you get. I have one that's good and one that,
Well, I just for my self-satisfaction, I'd like if you'd let me know. Okay?
with no further
Anything,
business.
anything else there?
They've got to do a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
I-
I got-
You you have anything else you wanna bring up, Anna?
Nope.
Any of the board?
Nope.
I call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I make the motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.